Welcome to my National Podcast. Let's get into it. Today is Thursday, and you guys know what Thursday is. Thursday is Haunting Adeline Day, baby. And don't we got a good episode for ya. Can't wait to get into this episode. I've been dying and excited to see what is about to go down. Hopefully, Zayd hurries his ass up and busts through and gives us the show we're all waiting for, man. God damn, they're building this shit up. It's ridiculous. But I digress. Before we get into the book, you guys always know what we got. We got that juicy thread for you. So today's thread is, what's an NSFW confession you've been dying to share? Okay? So let's see what craziness y'all been dying to share. Okay, met a girl on Tinder who had a super casual relationship for a few months. Okay. We both knew it wouldn't lead to more, but the sex was incredible. We would have incredibly kinky sex too, and if it was genuinely a lot of fun. It ended when she moved away for work, but I saw her 2 years later when I attended my cousin's engagement party. Turns out my cousin lives in the same city that she moved to, and they both dated and got engaged and eventually married. We were both shocked to see each other, but played it off like we've never met, and swore to never tell my cousin. Yo, that's crazy. So they were hooking up, canoodling, doing their thing. She moves away from work. Crazy enough, his cousin's like, yo, brother, cousin, what's up, man? Hey, I'm getting married, dog. I would love to have you to our engagement party, man. It's all the greatness. You got to meet my girl, man. She's amazing, blah, 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 blah. He goes down there, and he's just like, hey, what's up, dude? You got to meet my girl. And he meets the girl, and he's like, oh. Hey, how's it going? Wow, you're something else. Like, that's wild. Damn, he used to boom, bam, bing his cousin's girl. That's crazy. Woo! Man, I hope he never finds out. That'd be all bad. God. All right, what's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? I've always been talented in drawing. Back in high school, at an all-boys boarding school, I discovered a hidden talent for drawing comics. One day I sketched a rather explicit porn comic, but forgot to stash it away. My friend stumbled upon it, surprisingly asked for more. He was even willing to pay for it. Before I knew it, I was running a custom porn comic business for a year, taking orders and delivering. My grades went down, so I had to stop. To this day, I'm still amazed that the teachers never caught on. That's crazy. That's crazy. And honestly, if I'm being honest with you, like a lot of those like art commissioners and stuff, they make pretty decent money. Yeah, crazy enough, they make some decent money. And I don't know what the appeal for that is, but I mean, there's a market for it for some reason. Yeah. There's a market for it for some reason. You know what I mean? You'd be a Rule 34 artist or something, all right, hey, do your thing, man. All right, what's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? I moved back home during COVID. I have the money to move out, but my parents don't care if I just save money and stay here. The only reason I haven't moved out yet is I've been hooking up with a neighbor MILF for over 2 years now, and it's awesome. Damn. That motherfucker says, shit, I could move out, or I could just stay here and keep clapping these moms' cheeks. Shout out to my dog for insisting she gets pets from her from the first day we crossed paths walking around the neighborhood. Oh, so the dog hooked it up. The dog was like, roo, 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 roo. Yeah, I mean, the dog was like, you owe me one, nigga. I better get all the motherfucking treats I want, all the biscuits I want. You know what I mean? Because this little canoodling thing you got going on with this hot mom, you wouldn't have it without me, baby. You wouldn't have it without me. Hey, shit, when it's good, it's good. Shit. And then once, that the coochie well runs dry, you just like, all right, cool, mom and dad, I'm about to get up out of here. Peace, Shit, why not? All right, what's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? Not me, but my sister told me at 17 she once had a nightmare our mom had died. One of those really sucky nightmares where nothing outlandish can tip you off to its falsehood. So when she woke up, she ran down the hallway in a delirious fit of fright and burst into our parents' room. A bit of context before I continue. Both parents had thought the other had locked the door, and they had coincidentally also woken up early, but under much more positive circumstances. So, you know what I mean? A little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? She didn't walk in on them in the act, but they were both naked and into some foreplay. She said she was so happy mom was alive, it didn't immediately register what she was seeing. How dark it was that early also helped, and went right to expressing her relief until our very alive mother gave her a very loud, "Get the hell out of here." Yeah, she was probably getting that coochie ate. She was like, "Get the fuck out of here. I'm getting some right now. Leave me alone." So my sister got the best news in perhaps the worst way. My mom was not only still alive, but she was also very much still in love with the dad. Facts. Mom was getting that coochie ate, and she was like, "Get the fuck out of here. Leave. I'm alive, bitch. God damn it, man. You out here ruining it. You ruining it. What are you doing? Get up out of here." Oh man, it's a weird thing to kind of be like bursting into your parents' room for. Like, you know what I mean? I understand having a crazy dream, but like, chill. Chill, and wait. What's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? All right. I'm a straight guy who used to live stream on cam sites and jack off in front of dozens of strangers. My viewers were probably 95% men. At the time, I hadn't been with anyone before, and myself confidence and body image were pretty low, so the amount of thoughtful comments, returning viewers, and offers for payment was extremely validating for me. I would 100% be doing this often if I were still single. Might even try to actually make some money. Okay. Wow. That's surprising. Okay, this dude was just like, I got low self-esteem, so I'm gonna go up on like some cam site and just, jerk my meat for some dudes. Hey, okay. I guess that confidence led him to meet a girl, so now he's not single. And then he's thinking to himself like, shit, I might go do it again, make some money, like, all right, I guess. I mean, if you down to turn a little bit of a trick, you can make some money, I guess. All right, shit. What's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? Years ago, I was fixing a lag issue with my boyfriend's parents' computer. His dad was the pastor of his church. I was tracking where they downloaded malware, and I noticed a ton of sites in the browser history about using vegetables as sex toys. That's crazy. That's crazy. My man loved to see them vegetables stretch them coochies out. The next day, they had us help them with their boyfriend's garden. They were growing rows of carrots and cucumbers. My boyfriend kept asking me why. I was so quiet and I didn't have the heart to ever say why. So pretty much, the pastor was out here loving to watch the cucumbers and the carrots stretch the coochies out, and he loved to watch it on the computer. And he's like, I don't know why my computer is going slow. I have no idea. Like, I was on the Jesus forum yesterday, and then all of a sudden I turned it on today, and it was just going crazy. I have no clue, no idea at all. I have no idea, man. If you could help me out, that'd be appreciated. Because I gotta get back on the Jesus forums. I mean. Shit. The girls were saying, "Oh God," all right. They just wasn't saying, "Oh God," to, in Christian terms. Let's just say that. I mean, it's what's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? I was fucking my wife in the back seat of our car, and this guy on a bike rode by, looked in at us, and gave me a thumbs up. I gave him a thumbs up back, and he rode off. Never told my wife. All right. I mean, at least the biker wasn't weird about it. You know, at least he wasn't weird about it. And then on top of that, I would go get my windows tinted immediately. Immediately, I would go get my windows tinted. I'm like, bro, come on, man. That's weird as fuck. That's weird. Like, don't get me wrong. You know, it didn't kill the boner, and thank God she didn't find out. But again, I'd get my windows tinted immediately, just in case, you know, the wife is feeling a little frisky, wants to hop in the back seat real quick. You know, we chilling. But yeah, that's yeah. All right, man. Okay. What's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? My mom bought me a build your own sock monkey kit for Christmas when I was 13. I started it, and one night I saw it just sitting there with the bottom open where cotton was stuffed into. I fucked it. Then, in a fit of remorse and guilt, buried it in the backyard at night. Years later, my dog dug it up and brought it inside. My mom has questions, but I had no answers, only silence. This nigga, bro. That post-nut clarity must have hit him crazy. He was just like, he nutted and was just like, what have I done? What have I done? He goes out into the backyard and he's just like, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have did it. Like, bro, you had to have been mentally breaking down if you are burying a sock monkey you just stroked your penis with. Like, come on, bro. That's crazy. That post-nut clarity was wild. Man, that shit hit him like a ton of bricks. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And then mom is just like, oh my God, didn't I buy you that when you were 13? It's like, oh, yeah. I didn't know where that was for the longest. What's an NSFW confession that you've been dying to tell? My first boyfriend and I had sex and drew a very detailed, extravagantly done nude pic of me and posted it on the internet. It gained a lot of attention. He didn't tell me this for many years, and I've had no idea where it is or what it could be under. I wish that I could find it. I was very sexy back then. That's crazy. That's crazy. Homeboy drew such a detailed picture, and then he put it on the internet for some reason. Like, what? Like, for what? Why would you put it on the internet? That's craziness. And then she's just like, I'm trying to find it. Like help a bitch out. I'm trying to find it. And hopefully you find it, because, you know, I wonder how detailed of a picture it would have to be to gain like that much kind of traction, you know? That's crazy. That is crazy. She was into those artist types, I guess. All right, what's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? I actually walked in on my grandparents once. I still can't look at a crochet blanket without shuddering. God damn. Grandpa was putting in work. Grandpa was putting in work into that dusty coochie. Man. He was just like, yeah, I tear that little 60-year-old ass up. What are we talking about here? I be tearing that booty up. Oh, damn. That's, yeah. Ooh. That's got to be the worst thing to walk into, man. God. You see a wrinkly, flabby butt cheeks. Man. What's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? The guy in the shoe department cheats on his wife with anyone willing who has a pulse. I don't get it. He looks like Beaker from the Muppets, but the man still gets tail. Hey, I mean, you know, I don't even think it's about how he looks. I think it's just a thing where he'll just get that mom that comes in, and she's just kind of fed up with, you know, her husband at the time, and, you know, she's just willing. She's like, fuck it, why not? Why not, you know? And my man's just shooting. He's just shooting his shot. He's just anything out there. once I get it, hey, a hit is a hit. A hit is a hit. Sometimes, you shoot your target and it's got a little travel time on it. You know what I mean? Like it may not have worked immediately, but then she goes home and, then she drops the kid off or whatever. She comes back to the mall by herself and she's like, hey, so, about that proposition you had, like, you trying to do that now? Like, and he's like, yeah, girl, I've been working in the mall since like 91. I know all the spots. Yeah, come on, man. This is one of those dudes where he worked in the mall as a teenager and he's still working at the mall. Like, god damn, you can tell. All right, what's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? My first job at 18 was a phone sex operator. Okay, this was in the late 90s. I had a headset and everything. It was all done by phone. Online chat hadn't become an industry widely used platform yet. We had male employees too. The company kept track of our average call times. I usually made the top tier or the top of the list, a life achievement I proudly carry with me to this day. A lot of weird stories from that time. Also, if you've ever gotten a tarot card reading from a hotline psychic, good chance you're speaking to a phone sex operator who got promoted to what we call the other side, which was literally the other side of the call center. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I wonder if they still do those phone hotline things. Probably not because of AI. Like AI could, you give it a prompt or whatever, and I'm sure AI could just kind of give you, what they would possibly say. And so I think that would kind of make call centers and stuff like that, obsolete. But at the same time, I would think it would be different from like reading something to actually like hearing somebody, say it. But I don't know. I remember, seeing those, and I'm sure a lot of the 90 babies out there, you guys have seen those, what is it? Those, those like telemarketer commercials that come on at like 1 a.m. and shit, and they be talking about, oh, we have a bunch of girls that want to talk to you. Oh, just dial 1-800, hot phone sex or some shit. You know what I mean? And they'd have like the different girls in the bed and stuff like that. And they're like on the phone and they're pretending to like talk to somebody, I really wonder if those things still exist, because it's like, obviously, like I said, with AI and, with technology advancing, it's like you don't really have a need for that. There's not really a niche for those kind of things, and then we don't really pay for minutes anymore. Maybe some people do, but I know most people don't really pay for minutes, because I know it'd be a big thing that like, that's why those were kind of taboo, because, you would have to pay for all these extra minutes, and then on top of that, you're paying for the phone call as well. So you're paying by minutes on there. So it was like, little Johnny, why do you have over 180 minutes, this week on the phone? It's like, oh, I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. That's interesting. All right, what's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? I fingered my wife to orgasm while I was driving through a town center. Her orgasm was so intense that she fell asleep straight after. When we got home, she dragged me to the bedroom and fucked for like hours. Never been able to do it that long before or after, and had multiple orgasms myself. I genuinely got her pregnant that night. If I hadn't gotten horny in the car and fingered her, I probably wouldn't have had my boy, who is currently watching the Mario movie. Okay. All right. He was just like, hey, this is my son's origin story. And I gotta tell you, like that night, I was putting in work. I'm talking round after round after round. She was getting cream pied all over the place. And that's how we had our son. That little nigga's over there watching the Mario movie. You know what I mean? That's my seed over there. All right. Shit. All right, we're going to do 3 more, and then we're going to get on to Haunting Adeline. All right. What's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? I used to be part of a dance/singing group while I was in high school, and we used to travel a lot on weekends to perform all around our country, and some surrounding ones were from Europe. And once we were staying in a Catholic school/dormitory, that's when part of the large monastery, dormitory that's part of a large monastery, they rented out to kids' rooms during weekends when they go home and travel, and we, as a large group, rented the whole place. A group being mostly made up of high school and college kids did some nasty things and brought booze and weed and drank and had fun in the rooms around the dorms. The rooms assigned to me was across the head priest, or whatever he was, who was running the school and the dorms. And I had kind of got drunk together with a girl who was in our group and had sex with her in my room twice on the same night. We didn't really sleep that night, and I snuck her out early in the morning because we were supposed to be in different parts of the dormitory since they had the boys split up from the girls. I don't know how, but in the next morning, the priest commended our group as one of the quieter and well-behaved ones. That's crazy. And y'all was just committing debauchery in the house of the Lord. But man, they were just like, Jesus told me that you little lambs were just so quiet and cooperative in sleeping. In reality, man, the devil was in that house. Woo! The devil was in that. He was slanging lettuce and was just like, yo, here's some of my nectar. You know what I mean? He was like, fornicate and get it on. He was like, fuck that shit. He said, fuck all this quiet shit. Don't worry, I got you. You know, me and the Sandman, we tight. I'm about to go keep this, square and sleep so that way y'all can get it on. And man, the devil was in that house, baby. Golly, that's crazy. Hey, just kids gonna be kids, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, they gonna be kids. All right, what's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? All right, this is gonna be our second to last one. When I was 18, 2004, I made a dating profile that said I was into older women. I was and still am the nerdy type. I expected to get zero traction with it for months, but eventually I got a message saying that it was this woman's daughter who had set up a dating profile for their mom. I was too dumb to worry about the scams, and thankfully it wasn't. We met, and despite the massive age gap, I was 18 and she was 47, we actually had a lot in common, and we had a wonderful relationship. We dated for a few years, but she eventually broke things off as other people in her family had issues with my age. That's crazy. And in 2004, dating apps were just like, they were taboo at that point. Man, they were taboo. It was like, bro, in 2004, you could have went to the mall and got a girlfriend. You could have went to the library and got a girlfriend. In 2004, it was the bitches aplenty. It was crazy in 2004, bro. Man. And even for me, I was in 2004, I think I was, I want to say maybe like 7th grade. I was probably around that age. I had a girlfriend at that time because I was dating a family friend's daughter at that time. But I mean, I'm just saying, it was like, bro, those bitches aplenty. You know what I mean? I would say 2004 to probably like 2011. Those were the golden years for dating. I ain't going to lie to you, because the bullshit hadn't come out yet. The dating apps weren't popular. Things were just chilling. You know what I mean? Things were chilling. It was just easier to like meet a girl at that time, because Instagram wasn't a thing. Facebook was barely a thing. MySpace was probably the biggest thing at that time, and you just, you tell a girl, hey, what's up, girl? How you doing? You know what I mean? You could meet a girl on Facebook, or not Facebook, I'm sorry. You could meet a girl on MySpace, but then you'd run into that whole, I have a girlfriend, but she goes to a different school, you know what I mean? But that's the same with meeting a girl at the mall, because I remember I dated a girl that I met at the mall, but she went to a different school, and then I got clowned on because she went to a different school, so she didn't like exist. But then I brought her around, and they were like, "Oh, she exists." Good times, man. Good times. Good times. All right, this is gonna be our last one. What's an NSFW confession you've been dying to tell? I ate a donut off a guy's dick twice. Damn girl, you freaky. And you the right kind of freaky. I ain't gonna lie to you. You the right kind of freaky. Yeah, I mean, you the type where you be down for some shit. Now I'm about it, man. I hope that guy kept you. Cause I know I would. I'd be like, bitch eating a donut off my dick? Okay, let me see what else. Let me see what else she'd eat off my dick. I'd put some chocolate syrup on that bitch, or I put all kinds of stuff on there. I'd be like, what can I get her to do? You know what I mean? Let's be real. What can I get her to do? But that's gonna go ahead and be today's thread. Hope you guys enjoyed that thread. It was a bit of a saucy one, as we always like to do. A bit of saucy threads for the Haunting Adeline. You know what I mean? And so, all right, I'm hopping to announcements. Get through that real quick, and then we're going to go right into Haunting Adeline, all right? So, patreon.com/MyLasshole Podcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenarios to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday shows. Definitely get in there, man. $3 a month is nothing. So, get in there, get that exclusive episode, send in your scenarios to be featured, be a part of the thread, all that good stuff. If you're an audio listener, keep downloading the episodes, as well as rating us 5 stars. Helps out a lot, and it's for free. And if it's for free, then it's for me. And if you want to help out even more on the free 99 side of things, go ahead and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, as well as YouTube. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into Haunting Adeline, you guys' favorite segment, and we'll get into that right now.
Chapter 19. The Hunter. 1 week ago. Rubies and emeralds drip from the woman's body, clasped around her curves with thin metal chains. Aside from the jewels, she's bared completely, open to the male's demeaning gaze.
Going bid, $200,000.
The woman's voice announces through the speaker built into my leather chair. Her voice sounds just as hollow as the woman spinning around on the stage looks. These auctions are luxurious. The bidding area is one massive pinwheel made up of 15 glass cubicles surrounding a small stage in the center, providing each bidder with privacy while they fight over stolen women. The glass is heavily tinted, allowing bidders to see the stage clearly, while still keeping us hidden from those looking in. Jay and I have found that the tint on them is adjustable and can allow each bidder a clear view of one another. I plan to utilize that feature later. Inhaling my cigarette, smoke unfurls in the confined space as I press the button, placing my bid.
Going bid, $250,000.
The woman drones directly after I hit the button. Someone else bids, and before the speaker can finish, I click the button again, prompting her to announce the bid is $300,000. She will be the 5th girl I bought tonight. She's also the 5th girl that has been auctioned. Every single girl. They will be leaving with me. The payment is wired out of my account with each confirmed sale, but everyone will be dead by the end of the night, and Jay will have transferred it right back to me. Not that I'm hard up for it, but my money will never line the pockets of the society. My finger presses that button 3 more times before getting the confirmed sale. I inhale again. A low buzz vibrating beneath my skin as another girl is pushed onto the stage. She stumbles but manages to catch herself in the 5-inch heels before she face plants. She's a mousy girl with big doe eyes and glasses that cover half her face. The others will fight over her purely because she appears young and childish. Just like the last 5, she's draped in fine jewels that cost more than what these men are willing to pay for the body beneath them. Click.
Going bid, $50,000.
3 more girls after this one, Jay tells me, his voice soft in my ear. I don't speak. These rooms are bugged and I want their deaths to be a surprise. Click. I don't think Addie is here, man. I knew that already, but Jay, sweet Jay, was hoping for the best. I'm not here because I thought Addie was going to scamper on this stage where I can buy her and whisk her away from all this evil. She's never going to be auctioned. Claire would never risk it, Not with me watching. She's very aware I have the means to track down victims within human trafficking, so it defeats the purpose to sell Addie into a trade that I'm very well acquainted with, just for me to rescue her anyway. She's going to be handled differently. That I'm sure of. It's been over 2 months since Addie's been gone. Each day that passes, the black circles under my eyes deepen, and the angrier I grow. I've lost my mind, my patience, my strength, everything. The only thing puppeteering my body is sheer will and desperation. Wherever she's being held, it's off-grid, and she hasn't been moved, most likely because they know I'd find her if she were. When girls are stationary in an undisclosed location, it's almost impossible to find them in the skin trade. If they're not being handled through proper channels where they're being transported or sold, then there's nothing to fucking track. She hasn't even been taken into town. No cameras on this entire fucking planet have seen Addie's face since she left that hospital. Nor have they seen Rio or Rick, 2 of the 3 people that could lead me to her. I assume her kidnappers are wherever Addie is, but Claire, she knows how to move under the radar. The few times I've been able to locate her, an army surrounds her, and infiltrating takes planning, which is impossible to do when she disappears again. She's a red herring, moving in a way that's designed to distract me. I have every intention of taking out Claire, but using her to get to Addie has only proven to waste my time and resources, and that just isn't going to work. Which is why I'm here tonight, intent on destroying yet another facet of the shadow government. More importantly, I'm hoping one of these girls has seen Addie. Jay has identified each of the girls being auctioned tonight, and several of them are native to Oregon, which means if Addie is still in this state, one of them could have come from the same household as her. Click.
Going bid, $450,000.
Sold. I buy the next 3 girls too, and though I can't hear or see the outrage from other bidders, I can tell from the increasingly competitive bidding wars, as each girl is sold, they all fold eventually, most likely with the intent to buy a girl from a different auction. Moments after the last girl steps down from the stage, there's a soft knock at the door. Jay, lock all the doors in the building and barricade the exits. No one gets out except me. I tell him quickly before calling out louder. Enter. Got it, Jay responds, just as Lee Morrison enters the room. While he's not the owner of this auction house, he keeps this well-oiled machine running. His job is to escort the bidders to their rooms, make sure their accommodations are satisfactory, and oversee the women coming in and out, ensuring the auction runs smoothly and without a hitch. Shut the door, please, I instruct, keeping my back turned to him. Seconds later, I hear it click shut. Sir, where would you like us to transport your winnings? Lee asks, his voice respectful, yet timid. He's uncomfortable. Good. My winnings, I repeat. You do know they are human beings, correct? Just as you are? Lee clears his throat. I apologize, sir. Where would you like us to transport your girls? There's a limousine pulled up to the back entrance. Make sure none of them are hurt from here on out. Yes, sir, he says. Tell them now, I demand softly. On your radio, tell them that now. He stammers, caught off guard from my odd request, but ultimately does as I say. He radios for my winnings to be transported into the limo unharmed, and once he receives the confirmation, he clears his throat again. Will that be all, sir? In that regard, yes. Assuming I'm done with him entirely, I hear his feet pivot on the thin black carpet, and his hand jiggles the doorknob when he grips it. Before you go, I assert, stopping him in his tracks. Have you ever bought any girls for yourself? Lee stutters. Well, not here, no, but elsewhere. After a beat, he says, Yes, of course. I hum non-committally, though his answer has my body tightening with rage. Sir, may I ask why? His question comes to a crashing halt when I stand and turn to face him. I'm not sure if it's my scars or the look of cold, murderous rage in my eyes, but something about my face has his words fading and his eyes widening. Blindly, his hand reaches behind him, searching desperately for the door handle as I approach him. As quick as a whip, my hands grip him by his throat, cutting off his shout. I lift him to my height level, while he kicks and claws for me to release him, and I stare into his dilated eyes. All I see is my own monstrous reflection. I had told him those girls were human beings, but I never said that I was. Pulling my top lip over my teeth, I snarl at him. How many women have you thrown onto that stage, just to be carted off to a life of misery and suffering? How many have you taken for yourself and did unspeakable things to them? His face turns purple, and his mouth flops like a fish. But no sound escapes from his constricted throat. I only squeeze tighter, relishing in the way his veins pop from his forehead. I wonder if I can make them burst open. Come on, Lee. I know you have a wife and children. How do you face them every night, knowing that you've condemned people just like them to a sickening fate? Just before he goes unconscious, I release him. He sucks in a huge breath while I force him into the chair that I've been occupying for the last 2 hours, purchasing women that he proudly presented to me and 14 other men. I deliver one punch to his face, nearly knocking him out cold. It provides me enough time to grab the black bag I had brought in with me, full of rope and tape. Of course, the 2 bouncers, Beavis and Butthead, checked my bag before allowing me to enter the building, but they had only smiled, assuming the items were for the girls I planned to buy. I had smiled back because they're idiots and because they were going to die. Quickly, I dug out the roll of duct tape and bind his hands and feet. He pleads with me relentlessly, and when that fails, he flops around like a worm on a hook, but I can't imagine what he thinks that'll accomplish. Next, I fish out my can of lighter fluid and squirt some all over his body. His eyes widen, and he struggles harder, attempting to break through the tape like he's the Incredible Hulk. Jay, send them in, I order. On it. Leaving Lee to struggle for a bit, I step out to find several of my men pouring into the building, engaging in a shootout and taking down security in a matter of minutes. No one is making it out of this auction alive. While they take care of the employees and guards, I meticulously make my way into each cubicle. Jay unlocks each door for me one at a time, and I walk in, incapacitate the grimy rapist inside, then tie them up just like Lee. By the time I make my way through all 15 cubicles, a sheen of sweat is coating my skin. Most of them were old, but there were a few younger ones who put up a fight. A very pathetic fight, but one all the same. Rolling my neck, I release some of the tension in my shoulders. All the girls safely in the limo. Yep, and everyone else is dead, Jay reports. Have Michael set up the camera on the stage, I command, while sliding out a cigarette and lighting it. I'm still in the 15th cubicle, which is, of course, on the other side of Lee. The man bound in the leather chair is squirming, begging for me to release him. Makes me wonder how many children or women have asked the same of him. Michael saunters on the stage with a tripod and camera in his hand. While he sets it up, I ask Jay, "Did you figure out how to turn the glass transparent?" "Obviously," he sasses. "Let's see it then, genius." Seconds later, the glass walls gradually lighten until all 15 cubicles are transparent, and I'm surrounded by men strapped in leather chairs, fighting like hell to get free, and failing. Jay whistles. "Damn, dude." It seems all at once, the 15 men freeze, confused and petrified as they take in the sight of 14 others in the same situation as them. Even Michael pauses on the stage, taking in the scene around him with a grin on his face. Eventually, I watch all their heads turn toward me. "You see this?" I ask the man next to me. "How exciting! You get to show them their fate." "Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee." I cock a brow and patiently wait as he prays for a salvation he'll never receive. "Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. Jesus, Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen." "Do you think you've been saved?" I ask. "Yes," he says with conviction. I smile. 9 more Hail Marys to go. I want to hear you say them even as you burn." He starts shaking his head vigorously, restarting his prayers as tears fall down his cheeks. "Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee." I inhale one last time, then flick my lit cigarette onto the chanting man. Just like the others, he's covered in lighter fluid and instantly bursts into flames. His prayer bleeds into screams, and I'm disappointed that he couldn't even make it through his second Hail Mary before he succumbed to the agony. He's a God-fearing man, but I'm confident the devil will take good care of him. Leaving the sick fuck to burn, I make my way next door to Lee. "Miss me?" I ask, pulling out my matchbook and lighting one up. "Please, please, please, I'll do anything. Please don't do this." "Anything?" "Yes, whatever you want." I bend at the waist and pin him with a devilish look. "You know what I want, Lee? I want you to feel the same pain I feel every day. I want you to fucking suffer. Can you do that for me?" He loudly protests, but it's no match for the wails of agony that tear from his throat when I throw the match onto him, his body engulfed in flames within seconds. Once more, I make my way into each of the rooms and set every single one of them aflame. Just as the last body catches fire, I signal Michael to start recording through the glass. He presses play, and the camera slowly begins to rotate on the tripod, while Michael and I make our way out of the building. The camera will spin in circles, broadcasting 15 men burning alive on the dark web. There for all the traffickers and pedophilic assholes viewing pleasure, and there for Claire's viewing pleasure as well. The bitch is going to burn too. Mark my fucking words. "I have to admit, ladies, I've been in a limousine full of women before, and this is not how it went down," Michael announces loudly. Ruby berates him while I smack him upside the head, which rings out a snort from the girl sitting next to me. Michael and I hitched a ride with the 8 girls who were auctioned off tonight. Luckily, I had the foresight to bring a shit ton of extra clothing. While I was busy catching a bunch of pedos on fire, Ruby was in the limo with the girls, reassuring them that they were safe and going home. Still, as men, mine and Michael's presence caused them a bit of discomfort. The poor girls wary of our intentions. Certainly doesn't help with Michael acting like an ass.
I actually appreciate the humor.
The girl next to me says in a heavy Russian accent.
Makes me feel less broken when people don't treat me like glass.
"See?" Michael mutters indignantly, still rubbing the back of his head. Fair enough, I concede. He still deserved it.
Did you kill them?
She asks, peering up at me. She's a pretty girl with long brown hair and hazel eyes that remind me of Jay's. I remember her standing on the stage while I bid, her chin tipped high and posture ramrod straight. She's not one to cower, that much is clear. I arch a brow. "You mean the people bidding on you?"
Aside from you, yes.
"I did," I confirm. She pauses for a beat, then looks away.
Good.
I turn my gaze away too, relieving her of my probing stare. "Anyone else you want me to kill?" She sniffs.
I can think of a few.
"How about we trade then? I'll kill whoever you want me to if you can tell me if you've seen someone for me." I feel her stare once more, so I meet it.
Show me her,
she whispers. Pulling out my phone, I bring up Addie's author photo. My chest clenches painfully, and I turn the screen towards the Russian girl. "Her name is..."
Addie,
she murmurs, and my heart stops. "You know her?"
She was in the house with me, still there last time I checked.
"Where?" I snap, incapable of minding my tone.
I don't know.
She answers, her voice hardening.
Are we in Oregon?
"Yes, we're in Jacksonville."
Then she is close. I was blindfolded on the way to and from the house, so I've no idea where it is, but I counted the minutes. And we were in the car no more than an hour. All I can tell you is that the owner's name is Francesca. She runs the place with her brother, and it's somewhere in the middle of the woods.
I take a deep breath, briefly meeting Michael's wide stare. Hearing that Addie could only be an hour away has my heart racing. Out the window goes my patience and discipline. My fingers are itching to search nearby towns and go house to house, kicking in their doors until I fucking find her. Part of the reason I came here tonight was in the hope that someone would have seen her, but truth be told, I didn't think I'd get this lucky. "What's your name?" I ask, voice strained.
Jillian.
"Can you tell me?" Fuck. Is she?
She's alive.
Understanding my need to ask how she is, but knowing the answer is obviously not good.
She's had a hard time with one of the girls in the house, Sydney. They're at each other's throats, and it gets them punished a lot.
Low tremors radiate through my limbs, gradually increasing as Jillian goes on.
And she has a buyer already, last I heard. He's been visiting her.
I clench my jaw so hard the muscle nearly bursts from the pressure. His name? I ask through gritted teeth. She's quiet, seemingly struggling to remember. Then a mousy voice pipes up, answering the question for her.
Xavier Delano,
she says. Jillian and I turn to the girl with short brown hair and round glasses.
That's his name.
She reaffirms.
I was in the house with Addie too.
Thank you.
Gloria.
She supplies when I trail off. Thank you, Gloria. You need me to kill any assholes too? She smiles and shakes her head no.
I have enough blood on my hands.
Funny, I feel the opposite. I'll never have enough on mine.
Chapter 20. The Diamond. Present.
Shit.
Rio mutters after Francesca leaves, his movements quickening. My brows plunge and my heart picks up speed from his obvious concern. Claire? Who's Claire? He glances at me, and I watch him visibly shut down, like pulling a string and the blinds slamming over his eyes. Whoever Claire is, she's to be feared. Ignoring me, Rio finishes bandaging me up and then grabs my arm and forces me into an upright position. He walks to my dresser and opens the drawers, throwing random articles of clothes at me. What? Rio, what the fuck is wrong with you? I snap, a shirt smacking me directly in the face.
Claire's the one who put the target on your head,
he says, keeping his voice an octave above a whisper. Then he walks to me and helps me slip into my clothing like I'm a toddler, but I'm too scatterbrained to stop him. My heart thuds heavily, panic circulating throughout my system. I've no idea who the fuck this woman is, but it's clear she has some type of connection with Zaid. That's the only reason a random woman would put a target on my head, right? However, I swear I've met a Claire before, but my brain is too muddled to recall where and what she looked like, or her significance to me or Zaid. He grabs me by the shoulders, his face severe.
Be very careful with that mouth of yours, Princessa. Matter of fact, keep it shut.
I tighten my lips and nod my head. Lately, I've been too tired, too weak to fight back. I walked into this house with my fire lit, and within 2 months, the proverbial fingers have pinched the flame, leaving only a trail of smoke behind. All I need is a spark, and maybe it can be reignited. My stomach twists with anxiety as I follow Rio down the hallway. A dull ache throbs between my thighs, reminding me with every step of what I'm desperately trying to forget. Something Xavier aims explicitly for. It's also a reminder that Zaid may not want me anymore. Something I've come to terms with already. I never thought I'd want to lose his obsession, but how could I not? I'm filthy now. Rio walks ahead of me without a glance, tightening the knot forming in my stomach. There's an ice-cold fortress shrouded around him, as solid as the tension in his shoulders. It feels as if he's distancing himself from me because I'm about to be sent off to war and he's never going to see me again. Some days, I still hate him for what he's done to me. But I won't lie to myself and say that we haven't built a bond either. He's been an emotional crutch for me these last 2 months, and I've begun to figure him out by now. If he's acting this way, it's for a reason, and that makes me really fucking nervous. I pad down the stairs, quiet voices rising from the living room. Rocco stands in the kitchen drinking a glass of water and staring at me with his beady little eyes. I keep my head down, watching my bare feet travel across the dirty floor. I just cleaned it 2 days ago, but Rocco and his friends act like there's glass on the floor and insist on wearing their muddy boots around the house. My eyes focus on a perfect set of footprints that trail into the living room, leading right to 2 sets of heels. The new incomer has mud caked on her shoes, too. How fucking rude. A throat softly clears, and I finally lift my stare. Immediately, I regret it. The shock of who I'm looking at nearly knocks me right onto the dirty footprints. Claire. I've definitely met her before. She's Mark's wife. The senator who had tried to abduct me before, and the one Zaid viciously murdered the night of Satan's affair. I remember meeting her the night Mark invited us to a charity event at his house. She was frail, subdued, and seemed so nice. Why did she put a target on my head? Out of revenge for her husband? That has to be it. Zaid murdered Mark, so now she's taking her anger out on him by getting me kidnapped and sold. But Jesus, what's there to be mad about? The man obviously abused her. "Hello, Adeline," Claire greets, smiling at me behind her red lipstick. She looks significantly different than the first time I met her. Not because of her appearance. She still has bright red hair curled perfectly around her face, and a beautiful, albeit aging appearance. It's because she looks happy. Like she's thriving. She doesn't look upset or distraught over the death of her husband. I'm muddled with surprise and confusion, so it takes me a moment to say, "Hi, Claire." She clasps her black gloved hands together and takes a step towards me. "I know you're probably very confused, my dear," she starts. "And I'm terribly sorry you were brought into the middle of all this." She waves a hand, indicating all this as the house I'm currently being held captive in. Let's not pretend that I wouldn't have been taken anyway. But I keep quiet, not sure how exactly I'm supposed to respond to that. Wave a hand and say, "Aw, shucks, it's all right. I'm having the time of my life." "It's very unfortunate you got involved with someone such as Z. He came in and wrecked your life like a bull in a china shop, didn't he?" Yes, he did. "I suppose so," I admit. "He's caused a lot of trouble for me as of late. Most recently, gratuitously murdering several important buyers at an auction house, then stealing the girls." My heart drops into my stomach, sending the butterflies inside scattering. Tears burn behind my eyes, but I force them down. Hearing about Zaid and the havoc he's wreaking is, God, it's almost comforting. In a way, the people in my life before I was taken have begun to feel like ghosts rather than real, living people. Zaid, Daya, my mom, none of them feel absolute anymore. But Claire telling me about the trouble Zaid is causing makes him feel real again, and I didn't realize how much I needed that. "He took Jillian and Gloria?" I ask, my voice raspy with unshed tears. My chest is cracking wide open with countless emotions, and at the forefront of it all is relief. That he did. And I'm not going to allow that to happen with you. There's been a change in plans, so I figured I'd take this opportunity to see the precious diamond in the flesh once more before you're shipped off. Whatever luck Jillian and Gloria have on their side is not on yours. My throat dries. I'm not being auctioned off? Of course not, dear. You were never going to be. Did Francesca know this? Since I arrived, she's been telling me that I'd be auctioned, yet she doesn't appear surprised by the news. When I just stare at Claire blankly, she continues. A very intelligent and resourceful man has attached himself to you, which means that he will have the capabilities to find you once you step foot outside of this property. That knowledge kicks my heart up a notch, swirling with a burst of excitement. Obviously, Zaid knows how to find people. I assume it's only taken him this long because I've been locked inside a house in the middle of nowhere for over 2 months. Finding a lead on me is probably next to impossible, but the second they take me out of here, they'll no longer have that advantage. Francesca has informed me that a very high-profile buyer has set his eyes on you. So in order to keep you hidden, we will be conducting a direct sale. My mouth parts, and I'm honestly unsure of how to feel. A direct sale will give them plenty of opportunity to conceal me, but I've never had any intention of hiding. Heart thudding, I nod my head. Okay, I say. She smiles condescendingly, as if I'm a child agreeing to go to bed when I never really had a choice anyway. I suppose that wouldn't be wrong. Xavier has already paid for you and will collect you in 3 days. Francesca will continue to prepare you for your new life, providing you with all the knowledge you need to ensure you and Xavier live happy lives together. Ah, Claire is just as psychotic as Mark. Maybe she's a byproduct of Mark's abuse. Maybe not. Regardless, she's no better than her husband. Her pain does not justify inflicting pain on others. Not like this. Francesca and I will go over the details. Nothing for you to concern yourself with. I just wanted to deliver the good news to you myself. She goes on, her eyes glittering with delight. They are what stars look like when they die. No life left in them, yet blazing with a light that ensures everything in its path will die too. I had hoped with being auctioned that I'd be able to make a run for it, or ensure my face was seen on a camera at the very least. Maybe steal a phone and send a text, anything to give Zeta location. Those options won't be as easy now, but still not impossible. I lick my dry, cracked lips and meet the twin dead stars in her skull. Can I ask one thing? I ask softly. Her red lips flatten, but she nods her head. Can I ask why? Francesca hisses, but Claire holds up a hand, silencing her. That alone is satisfying to watch. She takes a few steps toward me. When someone as beautiful as you catches our attention, it's hard to look away. Normally, I prefer to plant someone in your life, a boyfriend, if you will. Someone you would fall in love with and trust. They would have handled you, and you would have been able to have some sort of freedom while also bringing in money. However, you got someone else's attention first, and suddenly you became so much more valuable. My brows knit, and it's hard to swallow. It's not hard to conclude that Claire is just like Mark, someone who finds women and children and brings them to the society. But the way she speaks, this trade, this world, I own it. I own it all, Claire supplies. I am the society, dear. Me and my 2 associates. Mark thought he was the man in our marriage, but he never knew that I was the one pulling the strings all along. Zay did me a favor by getting rid of that scumbag, despite how fun it was to hang my husband by the balls. I'm not angry because your boyfriend killed my husband. I'm angry because he's attempting to ruin what I've worked hard to build. The sad, little lives you all live are my empire. I'll be damned if Z tries to take that from me. She spits out his name like it's a bug that flew into her mouth, ire and disgust twisting her features. All I can do is stare at her in utter disbelief. Confounded that Claire is the ultimate puppeteer. The president, shit, all of the world leaders, they're guppies compared to her. Taking advantage of my speechlessness, she turns to Francesca. Let's have a chat, Franny. We have some things to discuss. Francesca smiles graciously at Claire. Of course. She turns to me, her smile dropping long enough to say, Go back to your room, and don't come out until dinner. And then she's back to smiling at Claire again. Her face must hurt from all that exercise it's getting. Nodding, I pivot on my heels and hurry towards the stairs. Rio stands at the doorway to the kitchen, hands threaded behind his back. Briefly, we make eye contact, but for the life of me, I can't decipher the emotion swirling in his dark irises. He stays behind, but I'm glad for it. Being confined to my room is exactly what I need right now, so I can adequately plan my escape. Xavier was right about one thing. The culling is a double-edged sword. It taught me how to run, and that's precisely what I plan on doing. Hot breath fans across my face, disturbing the deep sleep I've fallen into. I twitch, feeling strands of hair tickle my nose. It takes me several seconds to pull myself out of the weird dream I was having. With reality setting in, so does a sense of animosity and danger, and it takes another few seconds to realize someone is breathing in my face. Immediately, my instincts blare on red alert, adrenaline and fear flooding my system. Slowly, I crack open my eyes, then choke on a startled scream. My eyes rounding into discs when I see Sydney standing above me, her face mere inches away from mine. Her eyes are wide, a psychotic glimmer in them as she stares down at me with a crazed smile. She's breathing heavily, little sounds of excitement bubbling out of her throat with each exhale. I press myself deeper into the bed, my heart tearing through my chest as I struggle to find my breath. What the fuck, Sydney? I gasp, attempting to keep my voice down but failing. I'm seconds away from releasing my bladder all over the bed, my horror growing as she climbs on top of me. Her blonde strands brushing across my face and blocking my vision. My body moves on instinct. I kick my feet on the bed, attempting to gain traction and slide myself upright, but her hands wrap around my throat, holding me in place. She's not cutting off my air supply yet, but I panic anyway. All of those moves I learned from Zayd evading me. "I know what you're going to do," she whispers. I almost miss what she says with my heart thudding loudly in my ears. "You're going to try to escape, and I'm going to tell them." She breathes, giggling maniacally when I flail against her. "And hopefully they fucking kill you for it." Her hands begin to tighten further, and finally, my training kicks in. I shoot my arm up between hers and twist my body with all my strength, sending her flying off the side of the bed. The impact is loud, and we both freeze, waiting to hear if anyone woke. Francesca stays on the bottom floor on the opposite side of the house, but that doesn't mean we can't be heard. There are also always 2 or 3 men standing guard outside of the house, ensuring none of us try to run. Sydney's eyes narrow, and I know she's about to attack again. My legs are tangled in the blankets, so I react first, freeing my legs and then diving towards the end of the bed. She charges at me, wrapping a hand around my ankle and attempting to drag me back. I kick out hard, and her grip loosens enough for me to break free and scramble off the other side of the bed. Slowly, she stands, her chin dipped low as she stares up at me with pure evil as we face off on either side of the bed. "What the fuck is your problem?" I whisper-shout. "I know what you have planned, and I'm not going to let it happen." It takes effort to keep my eyes from widening and the stricken look off my face. "I don't have anything planned," I vehemently deny. She ignores me. "You don't get to be treated better than the rest of us, then escape your fate," she growls. "Treated better?" I echo on a bewildered laugh. "You've been getting me in trouble since I got here." "And yet she still loves you more," she hisses back. I shake my head, absolutely astonished that she believes that. Francesca sees me as a $sign, a substantial one. She doesn't love anyone more than herself. "Maybe she would love you if you didn't act like a fucking psycho bitch." I clip, growing angry. She begins to circle the bed toward me, and I realize belatedly that I'm cornered. "I'm telling Francesca about your plans," she says, ignoring my jab. "What plans?" I ask, playing stupid and hoping she doesn't actually know a damn thing. For the past 2 months, I've been working out different ways to escape once I'm taken out of here, and after Claire blindsided me last night, I came up with a few ideas that could work now that I'm no longer being auctioned. But Sydney is about to fucking ruin them. She points to my floor, and my face drops in horror. My head snaps back to her in shock. "How did you know about that?" She shrugs, a joyous grin curling her lips. Gradually, a sick realization sets in. She was the person standing inside the wall, watching me sleep that night. She must have hid when I spotted her, then resumed watching me when I found the journal. Jesus, how long has she been reading it, and how often has she watched me fucking sleep? "How did you get behind the wall?" She shrugs, grinning wildly. "There's a lot of things you don't know about this house, Diamond. I know everyone's secrets, including Francesca's. Why do you think she's allowed me to stay for so long?" "What secrets?" "Like I'd ever tell you," she scoffs. I've no idea what she could possibly have on Francesca, but I don't care. What I do know is that one of us is not walking out of this room alive tonight. If Francesca finds out I'm planning to escape and how, they'll do everything in their power to make sure I never get away. Not going to fucking happen. They'll have to lock me in a submarine in the middle of the goddamn ocean to keep me away from Zayd. I stand in the corner of the room while she lingers at the edge of my bed, possibly sensing the conclusion I've come to. Whether it's because she notes the determination that must be etched into my expression, or the fact that I'm not leaping over the bed to escape. Time slows for a few seconds, both of us still. And then we're springing into action simultaneously. She charges for me while I dart toward my nightstand. I hoarded a couple of pens in the drawer in the case I ran out of ink, and now they're the only things that may save my life. Not from Sydney, but from Xavier. She grabs a hold of my hair just as I rip open the drawer and locate one of them, my fingers curling around it while she swings me towards the wall. I I crash into it painfully, the back of my fist swinging out sightlessly to dislodge her from my hair. Teeth sink into my shoulder, clamping down with all her strength. A high-pitched yelp escapes past my lips. I bite back the scream, threatening to rip from my throat, feeling blood spurting from around her teeth. Blinded with pain, I raise my hand and stab the pen anywhere I can reach, feeling the pen sink past flesh and sinew. She releases me with a strangled yelp, but before she can move away, I grab a hold of her and send us both careening to the ground, no longer caring if we're caught. Fuck this bitch. We roll for a few seconds, fighting for control. I manage to gain purchase and twist on top of her, using one hand to slap away her claws, and the other to plunge the pen into her neck. My hand slips, the pen slick from her blood as I impale it into flesh. Her nails rake across my face, leaving stinging trails, but they fade into the background as I keep stabbing her blindly, managing to hold on to the slippery pen only by sheer determination. Over and over I stab her, exhaustion sinking into my bones quickly. But pure adrenaline and panic keep me going. Finally, she goes limp, blood pooling around us. I'm panting heavily, soaked in blood, and delirious from the adrenaline. My body is going into shock, and all 5 of my senses are on lockdown, nothing penetrating past the shroud of numbness. I just gaze down at her body, now riddled with holes. She stares sightlessly up at the ceiling, and I find that her eyes don't look any different than when she was alive. My door creaks open, and Rio rushes in. He stops in his tracks when he sees Sydney on the ground and me straddling her, painted in crimson. It's warm. I think I feel warm.
Fuck, Princessa. What did you do?
I barely hear him, only interpreting his words from the way his lips move. I point at her and croak, "I killed her." He quietly steps in and shuts the door, but not before peeking out to see if anyone else is coming. The soft click is inaudible to the typhoon raging in my ears. He keeps his steps light as he comes around the other side of the bed to get a better look. His lips form a circle and he must whistle, but I don't hear that either. All I can do is stare.
Come here,
he mouths, waving me towards him. Blinking, I stand on quaking knees and manage a single step before slipping on the blood, barely catching myself on the bed. Rio's hand grips my arm and pulls me up and away from the growing pool. He grips my face in his palms, his dark eyes searching mine, and then he slaps me hard enough to knock my head to the side. The white noise bleeds into a sharp ring, and then all my senses come rushing back in. I hear, see, feel, taste, and smell everything. Copper. That's the first thing my senses notice. And then Rio is gripping my face again, forcing my concentration back to him.
Look at me, Mama. What the fuck are you going to do now, huh?
I open my mouth, at a loss for words. Finally, I just say, "Escape." He shakes his head, drops his hands, and steps away. He stares at me, but as usual, I can't decipher the emotion churning in his irises. "I shouldn't have said that," I whisper, realization dawning that he's not going to let me. Fuck. The situation catches up to me all at once and I enter into panic mode. I killed Sydney because she was going to out my escape plan, and now I'm going to be locked in a submarine somewhere, forced to live out my life alongside the fish. With Rio catching me in the act, any chance of escape just went to complete shit, and now I'm never going to get the fuck out of here. Rio isn't going to let me go. There's no fucking way. His sister is on the line. Shit, I mutter, uncaring of my bloody hands and sliding them through my hair, pulling tight as I try to come to terms with being caught before I even stepped foot out of the fucking house. I can't live with the fish, Rio. I don't like sharks. Rio's brows plunge.
The fuck are you talking about?
Shit. Fuck. Muttering something Spanish beneath his breath, he grabs my arms and brings me in close.
As much as I appreciate the vocabulary lesson, I'm going to need you to shut the hell up.
He cuts in.
Look at me.
I do, but my thoughts are elsewhere.
You need to tell me how the hell you would even escape. Your 2 options are acres of forest that you will get lost and probably die in, or walk a road that you can be easily found on.
I drop my hands and clench them into fists in an attempt to abate the shaking. The volcano has fucking erupted and I'm still vibrating from the aftershocks. There's an abandoned train somewhere out there. I found it the night of the culling. I was going to follow that out, I say. In the back of my brain, my logical side is screaming at me to stop telling him my plans in case he betrays me. But the larger side of me wants to trust Rio so fucking badly just this once.
And the guards outside?
He questions, voice low. I shake my head, a tear wiggling free. I don't know. I cry. There's no way.
Shut up, stupida.
He barks again, keeping his voice quiet.
I'm going to go downstairs and I'll take care of the guards. I'll leave the front door unlocked. Whatever you decide to do and wherever you go, that's your decision.
A knot forms between my brow, and it takes several seconds to wrangle my scattered thoughts back into one direction. Rio, you can't, I protest. You can't risk your sister's life for me. The muscle in his jaw pulsates and his dark eyes bore into mine. I have no idea what the hell he's thinking. He swallows.
I'll figure something out with her. I think I know where she is.
Then it clicks. Let's make a deal. I rush out. You help me get out of here. Z will save your sister. Tell me her name and where she is, and he will get her out. His mouth opens and closes, and for the first time, I've made Rio speechless.
You have yourself a deal.
Wait. My tracking device. I can't leave with it in me.
Turn around.
He demands, swirling his finger. Biting my lip, I do as he says, shivering when he roughly sweeps my hair to the side. How are... A sharp gasp cuts off my question when I feel something sharp slice and dig into the back of my neck. Jesus! A fucking warning next time. I spit, cringing as the tip of the blade digs into my skin.
He's not here, Mama, but I am, and I need you to stop wiggling.
I huff, feeling warm liquid trailing down my back from the wound, and after several painful seconds, the metal pops out. He flicks the device onto my bed and then leans in, his breath brushing across the shell of my ear.
Katerina Sanchez. She's 15 years old. I believe she's with a groomer by the name of Lillian Perez. Last time I saw a picture of her was 3 months ago, and she was standing in front of a sunflower field.
He releases me and steps away while I turn to face him. Thank you, I say quietly. I'll make sure she's safe. He gives me a look that tells me he'll figure out a way to haunt me if I don't. Maybe he'll come to Parsons and join the rest of the ghosts in my house.
One of Rocco's friends is sleeping on the couch. Be quiet, and it should be fine. He's out cold from the drugs.
Okay, I nod, feeling a burst of gratitude that I've no idea how the fuck to express. He'll probably smack me if I try. Rio hates any type of appreciation as much as he does attention, and maybe that's more because he hates himself.
Tell your man to give me a head start, yeah?
He says, backing away. I frown. Run fast. Slowly his tongue swipes along his bottom lip, and his gaze drifts over me one last time, as if committing me to memory.
Bye, Princessa.
Bye, Rio, I whisper. And then he leaves, his footsteps silent. I don't waste another second. I rush over to my dresser, which happens to be right by Sydney's body, slipping and sliding in the blood coating my feet. I tear through the drawers and hastily pull on a long-sleeved shirt and then a sweatshirt. I grab a pair of socks next, round the bed, and start wiping the bottoms of my feet as best as I can on the thin blanket. I pull my socks and shoes on next, grab my journal from the floorboard, and quietly make my way down the steps. Fear has kept me in my bedroom at night. It prevented me from going down the steps and out the front door, knowing that there was going to be someone outside waiting for me. It's controlled me for over 2 months, kept me compliant, and now I no longer have that option. I've killed someone. And if I don't leave, I'll be next. No, I'll be praying for it, but I know they wouldn't let death embrace me so easily. I snag a grocery bag under the sink, cringing every time it crinkles. Then I find a few bottles of water in the cabinet and a box of granola bars. It'll have to be enough. I can't afford any more weight than that. Next, I slide open the drawer and grab 2 large knives for protection. My plan is to make it to the tracks and then follow them out of here. Hopefully I'll find shelter in one of the trailers when I need to take a break. I'm anticipating that they'll assume I took the road and focus their search party in that direction when they find me missing. They see me as a diamond because I have Zaid's love. But they fail to remember that's what forged me into a stone so unbreakable. He's taught me a lot about myself and who I really am, but most importantly, he's taught me how to persevere. Just as I'm leaving the kitchen, I hear a loud snore and I pause, my heart picking up speed. Rocco's friends tend to stay the night when they get too fucked up, and I imagine it'd take a stampede of elephants to wake them. But I can't be too sure. It just depends on the amount of drugs that are running through their systems. Peeking around past the entryway, I see a grungy man laid out on the couch, mouth half open. It's Jerry. He's one of the regulars here and also one of the more vindictive ones when Sydney and I receive punishments. There's a small part of me tempted to walk over and stab one of my knives into his throat, yet I can't bring myself to do it. Despite how badly I want to murder every single person in this house, I'm not a ruthless killer like Zaid. At least, I didn't used to be. I guess I'm not so sure anymore. Hard in my throat, I slowly and silently make my way towards the door, jumping when one of his snores is particularly loud and obnoxious. I'm halfway through the room when I hear my plastic bag give out and one of the water bottles breaks right through, loudly smacking off the floor and rolling several feet. Just barely, I bite back a gasp, trapping it on the tip of my tongue right alongside my erratic heartbeat. My wide eyes snap to Jerry. His snores have cut off, but he appears to be sleeping still. A dangerous amount of adrenaline is coursing through my bloodstream, and my vision goes spotty from how hard my heart is pounding. I cup the bottom of the bag and tiptoe to the water bottle, cringing when the sack crinkles in my hand. Then I crouch down and grab the water bottle, keeping my movements slow. Screwing my eyes shut, it takes several seconds to try and calm my heartbeat. My hands are clammy and sweat is breaking out alongside my hairline and lower back. I don't think I've ever been this fucking terrified, and I'm too consumed in it to feel any type of thrill. It's just that pure terror. Breathing out softly, I stand again and try to recover the bottom of the bag, but before I can, another water bottle slips through, once more crashing to the floor. I choke, and as if moving through molasses, I lift my head to look at Jerry. His eyes are wide open and pinned directly on me. For several beats, we just stare at one another, suspended in time.
What do you think you're doing?
He asks, sitting up and swinging his legs over the edge of the couch. I can barely hear past the thrum of my pulse, and my vision tunnels on the verge of blacking out from the fear. If he calls out for Rocco or Francesca, I'm done for. Rio's done for if they find out he was involved. Then his sister will be sold and I'll never get out of here. Focus, little mouse. Swallowing, I straighten, deciding that keeping my mouth shut for now is the best option. I have no explanation.
You trying to escape, Diamond?
I shake my head, eyes widening further as he stands and starts walking toward me. Instinctively, I take a step back, kicking the fallen water bottle.
Then you want to explain what the fuck you're doing?
Once more, I shake my head. The only excuse that comes to mind is that I was bringing snacks to the guards, which is honestly laughable. And the last thing I want this man to do is fucking laugh. He certainly wouldn't be quiet about it, considering he's always been the loudest one in the group. He pauses, scanning over my form. And the moment I see the spark in his dark eyes, I know precisely what the fucker has planned. A slow, insidious smile grows on his face.
Come here,
he directs. All I can do is shake my head again, like a broken toy that can only perform one trick. He snarls, snapping his hand out and seizing me by the arm. I wince as he tugs me into him, my senses overwhelmed by body odor, stale cigarettes, and rank breath.
You fucking listen to what I tell you to do, Diamond, or I'll have Rocco come out and join in on the fun. Which do you prefer, huh? Me or both of us?
He spits harshly, though keeping his tone hushed. It would seem he wants me to himself, so he'll stay quiet for now. Tears burn the backs of my eyes, and I nod my head quickly, hoping to assuage him. The drugs tend to get them riled up, and their tempers are unpredictable.
Good girl,
he croons, loosening his grip.
I want you to turn around, push down those pants, and touch your toes. I want to fuck you from behind.
My mind races as I pivot, keeping my movements slow as I try to figure out what the hell I'm going to do. There's no way I'm just going to let this asshole rape me again. He nudges me firmly.
Hurry up.
Let me set my bag down first, I whisper, voice shaky. He harumphs but doesn't protest, so I bend down, deftly grab the knife and slide it out, hoping my body is concealing what I'm doing.
Fucking slow-ass bitch.
He curses, growing impatient and tugging at my waistband, attempting to slide them down for me. I straighten, which allows him to get them halfway down my ass before I'm twisting at the waist and slashing out my knife. The blade cuts through his throat, and his eyes widen, nearly silent from the shock. And I spring into action, pulling up my pants, quickly grabbing the sack, the stupid fucking water bottles, and booking it out of the door, leaving Jerry to choke on his blood. The muscle in my chest pounds so hard that it hurts as I skitter across the porch and down the rickety steps, barely pausing when I spot the 2 dead bodies piled next to the stairs. The guards. Their throats are slit open. Panting, I round the house towards the back. Rio is nowhere to be found, and I pray to God he got the hell away already, because he may be the only one to get out of here alive.
All right. And that has been today's episode. My goodness. Our girl Adeline has started her escape. And boy, she ain't taking no shit. She ain't taking no shit. Man, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode, though. Appreciate you all for being here on Thursday. I love you all. If you're on Patreon, I'll see you tomorrow on Friday. And if you're a free 99 guy, we'll see you on Sunday. Love you all and peace.